My name's Savannah Shoop. I was an English literature major here at MiraCosta, and I was on the fall 2024 study abroad program through AIFS to London, England. I chose this particular program because I always knew I wanted to study abroad. I thought for a long time that I was going to go to France because I'd been there. My family's French too, so that was kind of what I was looking into. And there was a MiraCosta program that was much shorter to Paris the summer before the London program. And I had applied for that one and it was all full. So the study abroad office had let me know that there was a London program coming up, and they encouraged me to apply for that one. So I did, and I'd always wanted to go to London. So that worked out great. And yeah, it just felt like it was perfect timing for me. The exact moment when I was like, wow, I'm really here was when it was like our first or second week of the program. And I was walking around Kensington Gardens, which was right by like where our classes were. And I had my headphones in. It was after class. It was like kind of like dusk, sunset time. So the sky was like all pretty. It was pink, it was blue. And I was walking around listening to the song Right Now by Gracie Abrams. If you know that song, definitely give it a listen. And I just felt really at peace. And like it felt very much like home, even though I was so far away. And I was like walking through the gardens in the park, and it was so peaceful. And I felt very emotional in a good way, but I was like, wow, I really made it. I'm all the way here and I'm doing this. So over a typical day in my program. I did the homestay option. There was two options for residency. So I was with a family and they lived about like 50 minutes to an hour outside of central London. So I had to commute, which was very normal. So I would get up usually around like 6:37 in the morning, go downstairs, like see my family if they were around, make coffee or tea or breakfast, and then get ready. And then I usually left the house and gave myself like 45 minutes to get into the city. And I would take my bus to the tube stop, or sometimes if I didn't want to take the bus, I would just walk, and it was like a 15 to 20 minute walk. And then I would get on my tube, I'd get on the Piccadilly line, still remember, and I would ride the tube straight to where my classes were. And then it was like another 15-minute walk from the station to our classes. And we always had our British civilization class in the morning, which was like the one big lecture class. And so I would go to class, and then I had about an hour and a half in between classes. So I would either go get lunch with my friends or walk around the gardens, or they had a like basement area of one of the classrooms that was an old house, and they had converted the house into a bunch of classrooms. So I would go down to the basement and hang out with my friends there. They had games, all kinds of activities for us. And then I would go to my other classes. And then usually after class, I would take the tube back home. And I lived only about 15 minutes away from the apartments for the students, which was the other residency option. And so I would usually go over there and see all my friends that lived at the residency hall. We would play games because they had games in the basement there too, or like a movie theater, or we would go out for dinner or drinks and like ride back the tube back into the city. So yeah, there was so much to do, all kinds of activities. My favorite weekend trip that I went on while I was studying there was our day trip to Bath, England. I'm a big Jane Austen fan, so it's a great place to be for that. And it just so happened that while we were there, they had the Jane Austen Festival. So they have all these people dressed up in time-appropriate, timepiece clothing. And that was really fun to see all of them. But we had a Grace tour guide, and we took like a bus through the English countryside, which was so fun to see that too. And she showed us all around Bath. And we got to see like the bath houses and all the old architecture. And then they gave us free time to roam around and do whatever we liked. They had like a flea market. Yeah, it was really fun. That was my favorite trip. One experience that I could only have because I studied abroad was something that's very specific to me. I got very, very lucky during my time studying abroad because one of my other best friends from here in San Diego was studying abroad in Italy at the time. And so all of our friends from home planned a trip at the same time to go visit both of us. And then everybody came to London and we all met there, and we got to spend a whole week exploring London. I got to show them around my new city and do everything together with all my best friends from home. And that is something that I only would have gotten to do through studying abroad and being a part of a program like this. So that was amazing. Moment that changed my perspective or challenged something that I knew, I think, was just being in such a multicultural, diverse city that's full of so much life and there's so much going on. And coming from a small town in California, that was very eye-opening, and it was so cool to experience so many different cultures blended together. and it's always busy. There's always things going on, always activities in the city and outside the city, and that really broadened my horizons, I think. Study abroad definitely affected my career goals, motivations, everything. It inspired me to want to move back there indefinitely. And even when I was studying abroad in this program, I was like sitting there scrolling through job opportunities or ways to move abroad as a student, and looking into like graduate programs. And yeah, it inspired me to look into ways that I could work there and live there, even past schooling. And I think that motivated me too. And I'll be honest, the classes were not extremely rigorous because I think the professors also understood that we were there to explore the city and they wanted to too. So it was a good balance of school life and having work that was engaging in the city that we were around, but also letting us explore it ourselves. And like, especially in English literature or theater classes that I was taking there, we got to go see like Shakespeare's Globe versus just reading about it in class. Or we went to Oxford and saw all the history there versus just looking at architecture and art history and those sorts of classes too. So getting to experience it firsthand was definitely inspiring when it came to schoolwork too. I think my biggest challenge personally was just getting myself there. I think the program itself was organized in a very manageable way. Classes were very manageable, everything. They gave you lots of free time. But my hardest hurdle was actually getting myself to get over my own fear of going there and being so far away. And the things that helped me were just a reminder that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, that I'm paying to be here, that they have set up this program so that you get the most enriching experience out of it. And I didn't want to let that go to waste. And I think that encouraged me to take advantage of every moment that I had and be in the moment and be present while studying abroad. So study abroad can be very expensive, and that is not something to take lightly. But there are so many resources that are there to help you. I think a lot of encouragement comes from the school in terms of scholarships and grants that you can apply for. I would recommend applying to as many as you possibly can. That's what I did, and just giving yourself lots of options. Also, I was fortunate enough to have a family that was willing to support me and encourage me to come up with my own creative ways to raise money. And I do work, so I saved up a lot of money from working over the summer, but I applied for grants. There's also things you can do like starting a GoFundMe. You can look into other opportunities like whether it's reselling clothes or selling a product that you make or using your own special unique skills to save up and propel you forward into that. Top 3 tips. I think number 1 is don't set any preemptive expectations. Just be in the moment and let whatever experiences and joys come to you naturally from that experience. 2, don't let your fears stand in the way of you going or holding you back from, if you have any desire to study abroad, I think you should follow that. And 3, try to be as in the moment as you can. Be present, because the time will fly by. Everybody says it, but the time flies by when you're studying abroad because you're just having so much fun. And take as many pictures as you can, even if you feel like a tourist. Take pictures, take videos, because you're going to be looking back on them for the rest of your life. I wish I knew before I left that time was going to fly so quickly. I mean, everybody says it, but I don't think you can really understand it until you're there. And I don't regret anything, and I don't think I wasted any of my time studying abroad, but I do think I could have focused on the fact that this is a temporary experience and you'll never get to be studying abroad with that specific group of people at that specific time in your life again. So being as present in the moment as you can and soaking up every little thing, even if it's like the annoying things of travel and things that come up like that. If I could relive one single day from my study abroad trip, I would say the last day of the program. Even though it was the saddest day, I really feel like I enjoyed every moment, and I spent the morning with my homestay family and was just enjoying my last few hours with them. And then I met up with my friends from our program, and we went to this place called Primrose Hill, which is a hill that overlooks like the whole skyline of the city of London, so you can see everything. So it was just very sweet, and we had a picnic up there. And then everybody from my program went to the local pub that we found there that night. So it was our last night together, but we all just like sat there and were reminiscing and talking about our favorite parts of the trip. And even though it was like happy tears. We were all crying together, and it was just nice to know that like we'd all experienced this with each other, and we were enjoying every little bit of it. In one sentence, a MiraCosta student should apply for a study abroad program because you will never get this opportunity again in your life. You'll never be this young. You'll never have this much freedom. And if you have any opportunity or any resources to do it, you have to do it. If you're watching this right now and you're on the fence about going to study abroad, I'm just going to tell you to do it because you will regret it for the rest of your life if you don't take this opportunity, and you'll be thinking about what would have happened if you had gone and wishing that you had. So do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. That was a perfect end to the video.
Okay, good.